I want to talk about forgiveness, which is what I feel like a lot of us are being asked to work on. But first, especially a lot of us energetically sensitive empaths, first, through this eclipse energy, many of us are being faced with the truth of situations with others, being faced with the truth of how we had been taken advantage of. And this is by those that we loved, respected, and the reasons why we put all of our energy and time and effort into pleasing them, making them happy, without much, if anything, in exchange. The realization is becoming clearer and clearer for many as to how we have been taken advantage of and used, manipulated into thinking that these were things that we had to do, or, guilt trip. That's a good one. We can fall victim or susceptible to being guilted into something. Also memories of abuse from those that we maybe had been viewing with rose-colored glasses. And then it doesn't have to be physical abuse. I'm talking emotional, mental, goes hand in hand with the manipulation and gaslighting. So, I hate to use certain terms that box people in, because we all have tendencies, but some are stronger than others. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to talk about the narcissistic tendencies that many of us had been living with, and other people. So many of us who are energetically sensitive, empathic, we tend to attract the opposite into our lives to teach us a lesson. And sometimes we're born into those families to learn what we are not and who we are not. But in keeping ourselves safe emotionally, and just from everybody's journey is different, but just from social conditioning and family conditioning and patterning, we don't think much of it when we're mistreated by a loved one, a family member, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, friend. But now the repercussions are starting to show, and the truth of how you can give so much of your energy to another without it being received. It's one of those things, a lot of lip service, a lot of saying that someone is some way, or they're going to be a certain way, but then their actions don't follow up. And I don't know if it's the eclipse energy or what, and I am speaking not only from my own personal experiences, which for me personally are memories of things that I had blocked out for myself, and in lieu of just finding out that a dear friend and coworker had passed away, I had memories flood in as to the mistreatment that she and I both received from what I like to call the good old boys club. Those who like to be in power and control over others. And so with that, I had a lot of memories and realizations, things that I hid from myself, things that I kind of swept under the rug to keep everything copacetic, is now all coming back, and it's coming back full force for me to really see it, the truth of it. and how much I had put up with and how much I had swept under the rug. I'm here standing to talk about it, but you know, one of my dear friends, it took a toll in her life. The stress and having to we had to prove ourselves all the time, especially as females. And this isn't a gender thing. I'm just throwing that out there too, because that's my truth. And this is in the past. This isn't current, but definitely something that should not be taken lightly. However, I've witnessed it happen over and over again, not only to myself, but to many others. And I personally feel that this is one of the reasons why, you know, it's hard to find a lot of people in the job field right now, because many people have come to the realization of their mistreatment, overworking, not being appreciative of what they've done, you know, and eventually not caring about the job or their dignity even. And this is just, you know, human to human. I expand when I think of these things. I don't ever like to stay victim. I had to feel what I had experienced, but now expanding it outward to the world, human to human, there's definitely an injustice and a great imbalance within humanity. And the acceptance of that from what I've witnessed is astonishing to me. And I try not to fear much, but I fear a revolution about to erupt from those whose voices had not been heard, who were mistreated, abused, used, misunderstood. And we don't have to let that get to a boiling point of rage. If we just acknowledge currently what we continue to put ourselves with, situations and environments we put ourselves in on a day-to-day, you know, that's all about self-worth and self-value. And if you're in a toxic situation where you're being mistreated, or you know, there's not an equal energetic exchange, or maybe you have some kind of agreement or contract as to how many hours you work or how much money you're making, and then over time that agreement seems to be null and void, and you find yourself working way more hours than you anticipated, and the financial you know, give back is peanuts or nothing. And I don't want to be on a soapbox about bitching and moaning, but we are all in this soup together. I just left the grocery store before I came out to the lake, and you're talking with the woman at the checkout line, and the woman that was in front of me, we were trying to help the woman in front of us because she had a lot of products for babies and infants, and we were telling her how there are programs to subsidize for women and infants. But anyway, then the topic got into the expense of food and everything, and how it's gotten so out of line that many of us are surviving on peanut butter and jelly right now, while others are still not noticing it, not seeing it, and frivolously throwing money away into unnecessary things, while other people are homeless and starving. And this is a very real thing. This isn't like when I was a child and I didn't eat all my supper and my mom would say there's starving children in Africa. Well, that I couldn't envision because I wasn't in Africa, although it did work for me most of the time. Now where I live in suburbia, any corner I drive to, I see signs, I see humans asking for help, homeless, need money, need this or that. And sure, I can see the other side of it too, where people are like, well, there's plenty of jobs, get a job. Well, once you get yourself into a trap like that, especially if you have children, then you have to pay for childcare. You have to, it's like we don't make it easy for ourselves as humans. We could, but for some reason we have, and a hawk is flying over me right now. For some reason we allow, there's two hawks. I don't know if you can see them. We allow the powers that be to do what they want, and we just go along with it. So instead of letting all that pent up aggression, anger, and things build up in us, I feel like it's important to express these things and express them in a healthy manner, as well as, you know, writing, poetry. So do a video, talk about what you're going through, share it with the world like I am, so that we don't get to a boiling, breaking point that can be volatile and violent even, because the imbalance is, you know, the pendulum will swing in the other direction, and I want to just help others get on board with how to maybe shift your perspective so that the anger doesn't take over. Yes, there's a lot of injustice. Yes, I feel angry today about a lot of things that I neglected to look at deeper in my life, that I allowed myself to endure and then some. And some of the people that I had such rose-colored glasses on, yeah, me, Scorpio, you know, and I did see, unfortunately for me, I have the ability to see all the layers within people. So I choose to look at the layers that are connected to their soul and spirit. However, I'm shown all of the layers, and I have to take them all into accountability. Like, I have to, yeah, account for all of them before I put myself into a situation or relationship with another person. When people show you who they are, you got to believe that, and not believing that that's all of them, but that's definitely an aspect of them that if you choose to be in a relationship with somebody, know this, that you can't change them. You're already telling yourself, I'm on board, I'm okay with this aspect of this person. And that's a hard pill to swallow for many. I really got off topic. But what I wanted to point out is the energy with the eclipse energy and a lot of Scorpio energy. Many of us are being faced with having to either relive or just reminisce on some really important things that we've swept under the rug. It doesn't really go anywhere. That's a metaphorical rug. It's basically that energy is coming back up for us to review in the truth. And the truth hurts sometimes. The truth stings. Scorpio stings. But we need to acknowledge and accept the truth. And allow yourself space and time for the grief process if necessary, especially if this has to do with somebody that you love and you're closely connected to. But maybe being in a close relationship with them at this point in time is not healthy. Now there are 3 hawks. This is interesting. Nature's been speaking to me all day. When I get home later today, I hope to maybe do a deeper reading on this topic, but I wanted to just put this out there for anybody else that may be experiencing these things right now, just really deep feelings and memories coming up. They're coming up for a reason, and they could be coming up in dream state, but unless you understand how to read dreams, I would wait for it to come while you're waking, and really sit with it all. Don't try to play the blame game, because that's not going to work. The universe is really trying to put things in perspective for everybody and to help us shift and pivot into a much healthier direction for each and every one of us. So that's all I have for right now. Love to all, and I will be back. Bye.